I mean, so what happens after the corona? Everybody meets at the bar eventually.
Exactly.
uh, Ladies and gentlemen, it's Tuesday, and that means one thing and one thing only. That means it's time for our Owner Talk podcast. Over 15 weeks, this podcast maps out as we start from zero on our campaign to support Mexican tourism post COVID. Over 15 weeks, me and my co-host Peter will be covering our journey of how we try to distribute 1,000 bookings per month to quality car rental companies in Mexico. Join us on our journey as we try to sign partnerships, drive traffic to our website, and try to make everything work. And watch us succeed or fail miserably. Join us and learn with us what to do and what to do not, with this exclusive all access to Practical Business 101. Okay, welcome to Owner Talk Podcast, Episode 3, Week 2 of our 15-week campaign. My name is Pavel, and I'm here with my co-host Peter. Hello, Peter.
Hey, everybody. Nice to hear you again, Pavel. It's been a week since we talked last time like this. Whoa.
It's been a week. It's been a tough week. It's been a fast week.
Absolutely. A lot of stuff happened. I mean, we put up our first episode last week. That was a
What do we think about that? What do I mean? It was an interesting experience, I gotta say.
That was
recording
an experience.
for the first time together, and that was a lot of editing. There was
a lot of editing, and I was surprised how things work when they're live.
Yeah.
But we took a lot of lessons. There's a lot of stuff we decided to improve. I think one of them is my sound.
Yeah. Learning how to speak to the microphone, I guess.
That's
one of the things when you're starting a podcast. But anyway, also a little bit. It's a very interesting, from my point of view, a very interesting experience to be speaking to somebody, actually recording it, and then also deliver a message at the same time, and also to be talking about what we are doing as it's happening, because usually you talk about the things that you've done maybe in the past and so on, but this is a very, very new experience, very interesting experience, where we're talking about, okay, we got 15 weeks to get something done, and we not only need to do it, but at the same time we need to communicate how we're doing it. Yeah. And it's also a very interesting experience, because it's not just about explaining it to the people, but it's also about actually explaining it to ourselves. I mean,
yeah, picking the right type of information and the right structure of the information, so that it basically delivers the message to ourselves and to the people. That's definitely something we had to work on since the last
no, I get into a lot of trouble actually verbalizing what it is that we're doing, so that it's understandable, because it's something that's been in the works, at least for me, for a very, very long time. You kind of joined maybe a few weeks or a couple months ago, and we've been talking about it, but there's so much stuff, and it's very hard to kind of edit it down to a point where you're able to explain in a concise fashion what it is that you're doing, and just focus on the important stuff, right?
Yeah. Second of all, this week is specific because I'm broadcasting from a different location than last time.
And what's the location? Tell us, what is the location?
Would you believe that I'm actually broadcasting from Spain, just a little bit south from Alicante, where I'm spending a couple of weeks of holidays with my family. And because we want to be concise about the project, when we want to push everything forward is according to what we agreed on, or basically what we feel is the right way to do it. We decided to broadcast even during these 2 weeks while I'm away from Czech Republic, where we are otherwise situated.
We got 15 weeks, baby. 15 weeks. There's no time to waste, two weeks out of 15 is too much. How's Spain, by the way? How are you liking Spain?
Hey, I love it. I must say, people are, especially as far as the actual most I don't know, media popular topic concerned, the COVID thing is concerned. People are very rational. The measures here are reasonably applied, I would say. You are free to wear a mask outside, but you're not complied to it. And people are like, I would say 95% of them are not wearing a mask. When you're entering a business, you're asked to basically wear it. But again, once you sit down, for example, in a restaurant, nobody asks you to wear masks while consuming anything. And the people are very I would say, what's the right word for it? Tolerant. That's what I was looking
Okay.
for. Very
In what
tolerant.
sense? Does that mean like they're trying to stay away from you, or?
No, I think they basically, if you see a person wearing a mask outside, I would suppose he is the person who is more afraid or more vigilant, or basically he thinks that this is the right way to solve the problem, but he does not basically approach you in any kind of matter of trying to give you the attitude that you should be behaving the same way, and vice versa. People who are not wearing mask don't feel like they have to be communicating any other message than they're free to do what everybody wants to do, and that's all.
Hmm.
Even on the beach, there's two sectors on the beach, which I was
Really?
something was new, which I had never witnessed before. There is a sector for which is basically divided into, I would say, 3 times 3 meters space, outlined by ropes. And then there's a beach which is not outlined like this, and you can
Oh
choose whether
wow.
you want to sit in the outlined zone or in the free zone. And there's nobody tells you anything about how to use which part of the beach. And we all meet at the bar eventually. Some of us wear a mask, some of us don't.
that's, yes. I mean, I would say that's a truism. You know, you could say that we all meet at the bar eventually. I mean, it's like
We all
that's
meet
the
the
whole
bar.
Corona. That's like that's all. I mean, so what happens after the Corona? Everybody meets at the bar eventually.
Exactly.
Are they public beaches? I mean, even these with those I don't know what you would call it, like these confined areas. Are they still public, or you got to pay for it, or how does
Every,
that work?
everything's public. Everything's public. I didn't see anybody charging anybody anything for actually using any part of the beach. We're in a place where the beaches are long and wide enough, and I would say the municipalities here are doing a great job because they're keeping the beaches fantastically clean. I can compare with other parts of Europe. I used to live in Greece for several years. I traveled to the Mediterranean in Croatia and Italy, and I must say that the Spanish here are surprised me very pleasantly, and even facilities like bathrooms and services which are public are basically in a fantastic condition, and
Yeah.
and, and that's what probably should attract tourists back to Spain.
I know perfectly what you're talking about. I myself spent. You are actually in Torrevieja, which is
Yeah,
just a little bit south of Alicante, right?
right. That's it.
Myself, I spent some time in Alicante, actually, also working there and inside a smaller community, and it is it's a beautiful place, and very. I don't find anything that you're saying surprising at all. I absolutely love Spain. I know you're also a fan. So the one thing that I'm interested in, since it's this whole COVID thing still keeps coming back, and then it goes away, and then it goes back again. How what's the composition of the people who are in Spain right now? It's July, 2021. So does it feel? I mean, especially the Alicante region used to be
Hmm.
quite popular with
Yeah.
British tourists. How is it now? Is it mostly Spanish people? Does it feel like actually tourism's back, or what's your how are you feeling about it?
Well, let me start by just describing the situation on the airports, or basically the flight. The flight was 80% full, which is very
Okay,
good, and that was
flying
not
from flying from.
flying from Vienna.
Okay,
And to be honest, it was. I would say that was, and then from these 80% people, I mean, majority was of course tourists. Okay,
Okay.
I wouldn't think that it was Spanish people coming back to their homeland from a trip to Europe. And it was a Friday flight, and I was very pleasantly surprised it was so packed, because it means that tourism is probably coming back. And the second thing which I noticed, or maybe let's mention the third one first. On the beaches, though, I hear mostly Spanish, so I would suppose that the region where I am is very popular for the Spanish themselves to come and enjoy their holiday, and it's the beginning of the summer holidays, so I guess it's a boom for them, and they wanted to go to the beaches, and it was a Saturday, first day we came, so it was
Oh
full of
yeah. Yeah.
Spanish
Yeah.
people.
Okay. Okay.
But going back to the experience on the airport while flying in, there was a lot of foreigners and a lot of people arriving at the same time, roughly plus minus 30 minutes at the time we landed. And I must say there was a lot of people at the rental companies, at the
Okay.
car rental companies at the windows.
Which,
So
okay.
which is basically a very good sign, which is a very good
That's
sign of
true. That's
tourism
true.
of tourism coming back.
That's a good observation. Yeah, and that also rings home because that's kind of what we're into, right? So, okay, it's quite optimistic. Let's hope it stays that way, and let's hope it picks up. I mean, um, our project, we mentioned it in our first week, is about promoting tourism. We are focused on Mexico. I've heard from several people asking whether we think it's a good idea, whether I think it's a bad idea. I think it deserves a little bit of a maybe an explanation
Mm,
uh, because I was in Mexico a couple months ago,
yeah.
and from my point of view, I personally think that Mexico is going to be the number one tourist
Mm,
destination in the world
yeah.
for 2021,
Oh
if
yeah.
not going forward, because why are I mean, now that we're talking about Spain, and we are right now we are both in Europe. I was outside of Europe for a couple months, 2 or 3 months earlier this year,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
around Mexico and the United States. But right now we are in Europe, and I think tourism. People want to travel. Everybody I talk to, everybody says that they miss
Absolutely.
travel. People
Absolutely.
definitely, whatever it is, holidays, business. I don't think that's going away.
It's the
And
number one feature of freedom, right? You want to travel. Where
yeah,
do you want to go
yeah,
and where you want to go?
yeah. And it's also extremely important for business. I think for um, overall wealth
Yeah.
all over the world, that people meet each other, different cultures, and so on. But what we have in Europe right now is very difficult for a lot of people, maybe to take on when they're thinking about traveling. I mean, a practical example: when I came back here, I spoke to a bunch of people, like taxi drivers, and overall, we were talking about, okay, so you planning anything for your holidays? And a lot of people told me, first of all, a lot of people first of all say I'm going to stay at home,
Yeah.
and second of all, a lot of people said I'm definitely not flying because
Yeah.
I don't want to get stuck somewhere. And with all these restrictions, it just makes it difficult.
Oh
Which,
yeah.
why am I saying that? I'm saying that because Mexico um, is very, very much open.
Mm-hmm.
There are no, at least as I'm saying it, unless they've changed it in the last couple of days or something. There are, and there were when I went there. There were no test requirements.
Yeah.
You are free to go there. Most
Yeah.
of the services are open. People are working. When I came there, actually, people, and this was in the midst of, in the Czech Republic, for example, or in Europe overall, everything was very much shut down. Everybody was just kind of like, let's not do anything. And when I came to
Yeah.
Mexico, it was very, very pessimistic, I would say. When I
Mm-hmm.
came to Mexico, people actually said, "Oh, this is so great that you're here. We really appreciate it because that's kind of what keeps us going." In terms of our economy,
Of
we're
course.
very
Of
much
course.
dependent on it.
Of
And
course.
at the same time, you got Mexico is very well positioned,
Mm-hmm.
is right next to the United States. It's a super popular destination with the United States. And I got to say, when I was there, and this was in, I think this was February, March,
Yeah.
um, it was just like, it was, first of all, I was in the Caribbean. Second
Yeah.
of all, it was super, super optimistic
Yeah.
how people um,
That's so good to
basically
hear.
lived there, how people
Yeah.
lived there. Everything was open, socializing, the climate. I have a lot of positive things to say about Mexico. I think there's so much opportunity, and that's kind of why you're focusing on it. And I don't
Yeah.
see, and the important thing, one more thing, the important thing is that I don't see it closing down
Mm-hmm.
anytime soon, for a lot of practical reasons, including the economics. But I was there during the height of COVID. That was actually
Mm-hmm.
at the top of the wave in February or March or something,
Yeah.
and they were still open. I mean, there
Mm.
were like certain zones where there were restrictions and so on, but it was nothing like Europe. And there's a very simple fact: if you tell people that they can't travel to Spain, by the way, who's the biggest client of, or where the most tourists to Spain come from? I think, and I might be wrong with this, but for a long time, it was the United Kingdom, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. There's a huge amount of English speaking tourists here. I don't want to say like Brits or but UK generally, even with some partial contacts which we have here, like locals and the lady who's renting out the condo which we're using. She says this is like a total touristy destination. There's even streets named after this after the different. Uh, European states. Like there's the Holland Street and English Street and Belgian Street, but the English Street is the biggest one there. It's like the hugest one of all. I,
Yep. Yep. But at the same time, as far as I know, right now, there are a lot of restrictions on travel in the United Kingdom. So, for example, if you want to go to the United Kingdom, you need to undergo a 10-day quarantine. You need to take at
that's
least two or
ridiculous.
three tests. So,
Right.
that makes it very difficult for a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people from the United Kingdom to travel to Spain right now,
Yeah,
because who can afford a working person, a working family, who can afford to go to Spain
absolutely.
and for a week or two and then
And,
go back
and
and
have to go to quarantine
have to go
for
to
10
quarantine
days.
for
Yeah,
10 days.
that's crazy. I have to say that the administrative part of the travel here was something which I wasn't used to anymore for the past 10 or 15 years traveling around the world. A lot of paperwork, but I understand their position trying to make everybody feel safe and make them basically comply with some rules so that they don't have to be dealing with some specific regulations while the people are here already. That's why it feels
Yeah.
so comfy eventually. So you have to do some extra paperwork. Tests, vaccinations, if you want to substitute one from with the other, and then once you're in, basically, as I said, it feels very comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. Um Absolutely. I don't think this podcast is not about political judgments. It's not about passing opinions on the restrictions and so on. It's just a very practical thing that we look at, which is, um, where there
Oh,
are more restrictions, it's just going to be more difficult for people to get in, and tourism is going to have a harder time. And where there are fewer restrictions, people are going to go there,
absolutely.
and so that's
Yeah.
kind of why we're focusing on Mexico,
Yeah,
right?
because that's what actually could affect the business and the whole model which we are trying to use in order to redistribute these 1,000 bookings to the quality companies in Mexico.
Thank you for mentioning it. I was just gonna I was
Because
just gonna say that it's very important.
that's what we're aiming to, right? We're redistributing 1,000 bookings, and which actually is a it's just a simple math which we do with the general rule of conversion. We are aiming for 100,000 visitors per month to our website, secretgoats.com, which should be allocating and putting up quality rental companies in Mexico.
Yeah, so and that's what this podcast is about, right? This podcast is about how we're building this whole thing, how we're
Yeah,
how we're getting it done, and it's a nice transition that you just made, because I think this is maybe one thing that was missing in our last episode, and that we're gonna try to implement, or that we're gonna try to stick with when we talk about the things that we're doing, and that is always to try to connect it with the goal that we have, and as you mentioned, we are trying to send 1,000 bookings per month to companies in Mexico, to local family-owned smaller operators who are trying to do a good job, who are providing a good service that is good, suitable for the Western traveler, where you don't want to have hassle arguing over what happened or what not happened, and so on, so and so on. So,
exactly.
and to get these 1,000 bookings based on all our previous business experience, and based on what we're doing with one of our partners in Mexico, we think that the conversion will be somewhere around 1%, which brings us to um, the fact that we will need to get 100,000 visitors to our website.
Per month.
Yes, per month. Very well. So this week, I would say probably uh, the the key thing, one of the key
Mm,
things that was focus of our attention, apart from uh, improving how we organize our podcast, how we put it together, what we talk about, and so on, was looking
yeah.
for the rental companies
Hmm.
that we call suppliers. And of course, the question is why. And um, I mean, I don't like to make things over complicated. I think our business model is really just very, very simple. I just had a conversation about this with a friend of mine who asked me all these questions about what it is that we're trying to do, including, do you think this is a good timing
Mm.
and that was very, very interesting, very good.
Was it tough?
It was, no, it was great. I think, what came out of it was that
Yeah.
we uh, and you never know, obviously, but it felt like
Did it feel like
we
we
had,
did our homework?
yes, it felt like we did our homework. It felt like we had all the answers to our questions. Theoretically, of course, we're gonna see in
Hmm.
practice if it works out. I don't want to assume victory 13 weeks out, but basically, what our business model is very simple. It's put together this website, fill it with suppliers, which we have a certain strategy about it. Several things that go with it, including getting in touch with associations, getting in touch with the embassy, getting in touch with the companies directly,
Yeah.
getting in touch with the companies through our already established associations.
Yeah, or other institutions that could basically help us out with this.
Exactly. So there's and that's, I mean, and this is a question that you get asked a lot when I talk
Mm.
to people who are thinking about starting a business, or maybe already building a business. They ask you, so how are you going to do it? How are you going to do it? And I'd say there's no silver bullets. There's just go out there and do it, and that
Yeah.
means make a freaking list of the rental companies,
Yeah.
and just try to get in touch with them and see what comes out, and have a good product that suits them. And that's something that we're also going to be testing, whether we have a good product or not, right?
Absolutely.
Um, and one thing that I would like to mention is that part of this whole thing, and we see how that's going to work out. But
Hmm.
part of that whole thing is this podcast, right?
Well, wait a minute. This podcast is the base of the communication of the project, the way we want to basically to let them know, and sometimes even call people to action, either the rental companies themselves or the institutions who might basically somehow get into listening to this message. and anybody who actually would be interested in promoting this whole project, because the other big part of the project, and the part of the success of the project is bringing the traffic to this website, these 100,000 visitors per month. And basically, what we need there, again, we are going to be contacting a bunch of people who can bring traffic to these kind of websites. And that would be mainly influencers who are doing product, or and basically who are producing content related to traveling, related to whatever, car rentals, or anything that could have to do with promoting the quality rental companies in Mexico. And that's basically something which we also need to mention, is that if somebody like that is listening to us at this moment, any influencer or anybody who thinks that could be of any help to us in the project, you're welcome to contact us on our website, secretgoats.com, and let us know what you think, and try to basically join in the project any time of the 15 weeks which we are going to be experiencing together.
Yeah, yeah. I think we're probably going to take two things out of this podcast. First of all, we're going to take away that the Spanish economy is booming. There is construction going on, which we can hear in the background, which is optimistic.
Oh my
And,
God. Okay. Okay.
and number two is that we're going to see if it works or not. We're going to see if a podcast is a good idea to communicate this project. From my point of view, it is about letting our partners know who we are, what we think, how we operate, what our philosophy is, and it's just that supplemental addition to our communication, to our website. So why we're doing it again, one thing is bringing traffic. Another thing is, if you go to a website is just a website. It doesn't really tell you anything. And I think that the most important thing, that's something that worked for my businesses in the past, is that people see who you are. They see what you're working on, how you're working on it, how you're thinking about it, and so on. And that is something that can create a connection. So that's kind of what we're trying to do with this podcast, to um, if or when we get in touch with potential suppliers, potential partners, influencers who are hoping are going to help us with the promotion of the project commercially, then they will be able to look at what we're doing and who we are, and they might jump in based on sharing the same values.
Mm,
So that's how this whole podcast fits in.
absolutely.
And
Well,
I
I'm
think
happy.
it kind of sums it up. We've done a lot of we done a lot of stuff this week. We have a few more things that we're gonna be working on, but I would probably leave that for the next week, where we're putting the actual suppliers on our website. We need to get back and see if we hear back from the embassy, and we're gonna soon have to start working with influencers that are supposed to help us with the promotion of Secret Goats.
Yeah, because it's 100K per visitors per month, and
That's a lot.
that's gonna have some kind of a curve, build up curve, and it's gonna take a little while. I don't expect it to be like boom 100,000K just for overnight.
Yep.
So sooner the better, and the sooner we have a couple of companies, a couple of products which we can promote, the sooner we can ask influencers to help us start promoting these people, and bringing some business to their quality companies.
Yep. Yep. So this has been week two. Very interesting from my point of
Absolutely.
view
I had a
as it's
great time this time.
progressing.
I had a great time this time. I gotta say it. I'm sorry for interrupting your outro, but it was much better than last time. So this is great for me.
It was a good start, I would say.
Yeah.
It was a good start, but week two, we are learning as we go. Obviously, we will continue trying to put more structure into the podcast. We're going to be learning how to do it better, how to have a better conversation, how to close the window at the beginning of the podcast. uh, Sorry about that.
That's
And if any influencers want to reach out to us and maybe find out what it is that we're trying to do, feel free to do so through secretgoats.com. But of course, there's going to be much more information to come in the next episode and episodes. So, from my point of view, it was great speaking to you.
yeah.
I wish you all the best in Spain. Next time we're gonna talk, and you're still gonna be in Spain.
Yeah, it's gonna be next time we talk. I'm still here for another 10 days, so I'm sorry that I'm leaving a lot of the work up to you, but I'm definitely gonna catch up once I'm back from my family holiday.
So you have a great time.
Yeah,
You
thanks.
have a great time in Spain.
Yeah,
Enjoy yourself. It's actually very
you too.
interesting because always as you travel, you get a lot of new inputs. So I really, really do enjoy learning from you about what it looks like over there. Having been in Spain for a while, and of course, being in a different place always gives you a little bit more of a different energy. So
Well,
enjoy yourself.
thank you.
Whoever's
You
listening,
too.
thank you for listening. You guys have a great week. Good luck
Have a
with,
great one, folks. Yes.
yeah, have a great week and good luck with your business. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Goodbye from me as well. Take care, Pablo. Thank you very much as well. Bye. I was just thinking whether we should pause and I could go and close the window.
Are you seriously doing this with a with a window open?
I can't breathe here. Can
I
you imagine?
can't
This is
believe
Spain, man. It's like 40 degrees
believe it.
Celsius in the morning.
Amateur hour, ladies and gentlemen. Let's pause.